I have provided testimony for my designs and my plans in a number of towns in Bergen and Passaic counties. I am a bit of a CAD guru. I've taught at Autodesk University. Next week there's no class. I'm going to be in New Hampshire, Autodesk headquarters, part of the Gunslingers group, trying to create the new version of Civil 3D. And the following week, we have some stuff to do. But I've been doing what we're going to do in this class for a while. I know how to do it. This project that we're going to take would probably take me 2 to 3 weeks to get done perfectly with much more detail than you guys are going to have to do. And that's a lot, has a lot to do with the fact that I just can't give you that much detail. But we are going to walk through a subdivision, a land subdivision. You're going to create maps and an engineering report that I would typically need for approval locally, at the state level, county level. And these maps would also be used for construction of this project. It's going to take you guys a lot longer. Unless you have a good 10 years experience, you can get around all this stuff. You've got a lot to learn, not just in land development, subdividing, grading, pipe network layout, utility design, plan creation, report writing, code research. I can go on with what we're going to do today. So if you don't know AutoCAD and Civil 3D, it's going to be very time consuming, but it will also be rewarding because I want you guys to learn software. You're all going to go out, you're going to get jobs, and the boss is going to sit you down and say, all right, make that work, Mr. New College graduate with all the computer experience. He's going to give you a new program, you're going to do some research. Where do we learn? When we have to learn, where do we go besides college?
YouTube.
Google. Anything you want to know about Civil 3D, about Excel, about storm sewers, the program we're going to use for hydrology. It's on Google. It's on YouTube. Hundreds of thousands of tutorials, video, and handwritten tutorials. If you're lucky, you'll find the handout from my Autodesk University class on residential grading. I'll probably hand that out to you guys later because it provides a lot of the methods that you're going to be using when we get going. How many CAD geeks we have here besides me? Oh, come on, raise your hand. You can walk around AutoCAD pretty well and take her out for a dance. Let me know, raise your hand. You all have 260, right? You should know not just AutoCAD, but Civil 3D.
Does half a hand count?
Half a hand will count. All right, okay, everyone go to who can help. Write this down, I'm lazy. Jmayo at Van Note Harvey, all one word. .com. Jmayo at vannoteharvey.com. That's where you can go for all your help. You can bug me, you can harass me. I will get back to you hopefully within 4 hours or so. I have been bugged and asked to do things on Thanksgiving Day, weekend nights, and if I'm available to help and I'm awake, I will more than likely help you. That being said, please don't, send me emails of how do I print. Be specific with your issue. Exhaust Google if you can, because quick answers. I learned all my CAD out on the Autodesk news groups. Years ago when I was learning Land Desktop and SoftDesk, I was sitting in these classrooms and I had tons of questions. And the news groups at Autodesk provided me with phenomenal help. And I was going out there and I'm a, little EIT, just graduated, and I'm getting answers from PEs, from LSs, from planners, from CAD techs who have been using this software much longer than I have. It is a tremendous resource for your AutoCAD and Civil 3D help. I strongly recommend you go there and visit it. Part of the Autodesk News website. When you get out there, also subscribe if you want to the student community. You can download all the free software you want without going through all the pirating that we had to go through. Oh, I didn't say that. But that's actually one reason why Autodesk AutoCAD is so popular. Early on, it was very easy to copy, clone, and it got out to all the schools, and all the students would pass around, and everyone knew it going into college, going into their jobs, and it got very popular. If you go out onto these news groups, there are thousands of posts a day on Civil 3D, hundreds to thousands. There are people there all the time, and you can typically get answers within an hour. Just so you're aware of that, it's a very quick way to get very good help. Be polite on these forums if you do use them. How many of you have looked at the syllabus? Okay, half a hand's don't count. You downloaded it, or half a hand if you downloaded it. How many of you have been to Moodle? Go to Moodle, get your files. Every semester I see the bell curve. We all know what that is. And every semester I get incredibly disappointed because your handout has everything you need to get an A. It has your report outlined. Every sentence I want you to state is outlined in that report. Everything. Everything I want on your maps is outlined in that handout. Or I might give you some additional notes in class. Bad grades, I'm going to tell you, go out to the people who take the reports and the maps from last year and try to recreate them in their own project and report. And I know this because each semester little things change, and I know exactly what semester these reports are coming from. Do yourself a favor, read this handout. It is critical to your grade. And if you do it, you should have no problem getting an A if you can put the time in. I'm not afraid to give A's. I'd love to give every one of you an A. You've got to give me stuff that when I have to hand it in to the department for the ABET accrediting for a class like this, they see real results and not some nasty looking maps and some really poorly written reports. If I ask you to reference a code, is it all right saying meets RSIS? Or is it better perhaps to say meets RSIS 721:121-A, yada, 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 whatever goes on, specifically citing the exact code for that. All right? When you guys are doing this and going through this, I want you to think of your report as your legal liability to document your design. You have governing code over your design. In this class, we're going to deal with local and state code. It is what you have to comply with. Your report should basically be, this is the code. The code says reduce runoff by 80% in a 100-year storm. Our existing runoff was 100. Our proposed runoff is 80 CFS. We've reduced it by 20%. And that documents it. I've given you the values before, after, and I've shown that it meets the code. This is what you need to do. The primary codes you guys are going to be responsible for are a municipal code that I'm basically making up. I'm going to be playing the role of everybody in this class. I'm the township mayor, I'm the planning board chairman, I'm the planning board attorney. I am your boss, your engineering boss. I am your client. And these are all the different roles and that need to be played with in this design, because when you guys go out and get a job, you're going to be dealing with the boss. And he's going to have this project, and he's going to ask you to create the maps and the reports for him, calculate what he needs calculated for him, and get it all together. You're going to be going before the towns with these plans and these reports to get them approved. They may have to be reviewed by a municipal engineer or a state engineer, and your client gets billed for that double, so right, they get billed for your design and the review. Which is a little nasty, but the way it goes. But as it goes on, you're going to go through all those steps. You're going to have to get up in front of that board and defend. The board's going to say, you're going to have to tell me under oath that your project meets the requirements of the New Jersey Stormwater Rules, Section 721. And he's going to be very general, and you're going to have to be very specific. And you're going to have to do that and defend it, and it's your license. Especially when you're up there and you're signing plans with your name, your seal. Lawsuits don't look good on your license. And lawyers fly everywhere along with their engineers, unfortunately as well. Okay, you'll hear my disdain for attorneys, you'll hear my disdain for government employees. It all is the same. Don't worry about that, we'll get through it. Our job is to A, get our bosses happy, and B, most importantly, make our clients happy. We're subdividing a property. What's our client's #1 goal?
Make money.
Make money. How is he going to get money from subdividing a project?
The most lots.
The most lots. If I can get 10, what's he going to come to me and say?
Will be 11.
Can you get 11? Some of them have come to me and say, can you get 15? They're always going to want more, and they're always going to want it. Your job is to get as much as you can. Let's see what we're going to talk about today before I get through with my introduction. Okay, definitely take notes. I speak fast. If you need me to repeat something, please say so. I will. Take very good notes. Please don't record me. I don't like that. I get all stage ready. Very good notes. You're going to work in groups of 3. If you all take notes, you all might pick up a little something different. You'll have a better chance taking 3 sets of notes and comparing them than trying to get one guy writing down every little thing I say. The critical things for you to write down are procedures and requirements. I'm going to give them both to you. I'm going to give you grading requirements for residential lots. We have subdivision requirements in our bulk municipal code, which is part of your downloaded files. There's a little chart in there telling you how the lots have to be defined. These are the requirements. I'm going to give you procedures to subdivide. I'm going to give you general procedure, and I'm going to give you very specific CAD procedure to help you out. A lot of my goal of this class is not just to teach you what I do, is to teach you what it's going to be like when you get out in the real world, and to teach you to learn software, even if you're not going to use this a lot. You might get into hydraulics, and you'll be using WaterCAD. You might get into structures, and you'll be using Revit, Inventor, or Stat, or something else. But you're going to need to know your tools. This is a lot like the mechanic getting the hands-on training with in class, and not just reading about it. You need to get out there and use these things. The days of the old drafter are really coming to an end. And you see that in Civil 3D. You all have 260. This is not a drafter's program. This is a calculator for engineers. You see what it does. And there's a lot of CAD drafters out there who have a tough time with it. You guys are the ones who have to get out there and make it go. It's your tool, and I strongly suggest you learn all of these things. And not just know how to use them, but more importantly, know what they're calculating and know how to check. Do we trust the computer? No, it's evil. We check every calculation that comes out. We don't have to go through like a 2,000 acre soil movement, check every 25 square feet of elevation change. But we've got to take a little sample area, confirm its validity. And we need to be logical with our engineering decisions. I like to teach you too about engineering choices, using logic in your choices and common sense, because a lot of this is. Where does the water run? Common sense, down. Believe it or not, when I was a roofer for about 15 years, I had a guy work with us, started a roof. He was working with us for about 4 years, started a roof, and he started up on the top. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm starting a roof off. I'm like, why are you starting up there? Where does the water run? He's like, it runs down. Well, where do we always start? Well, down at the bottom, right? And everything overlaps so it rolls off. And he's like, well, I've only been working here 2 years, man. How am I supposed to know that? You want to shake him. You're the engineers. You're going to be the decision maker. Don't be that helper. All right, I had another one. I said, read me the tape measure. He said, that's 7 feet and 1, 2, 3 centimeters. Don't be that person. And when you're the engineer signing your plans, look out for that person. Especially if he's preparing your plans. But we're going to talk a lot about real-world experience in here. We're going to talk about getting you guys up. I want you to learn tools. I want you to learn how to find help for the tools. And I told you where to get that. Go to Google. It's great. If Google can't help you, come to me, and I will. General requirements in your plans. Legibility is critical. If I can't read it, if a municipal engineer can't read it, they can't approve it. I can't grade it. You've got to be able to read it. Test print. Keep uniform text sizes. I can tell you that I can prepare a set of 60 plans using 3 font heights and probably 3 different fonts. You only need a few things. Keep your text sizes and heights consistent. Keep your scales consistent. I've gone through where to get your help from. All right. We have a lot to talk about today, and we're going to basically finish up our little introduction now. Hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to start talking about a lot of the things that you're going to be doing. Let's begin with land development in general. And this is more of a conversation than notes. But when a client comes to me and says, I have a 20-acre lot, I need you to subdivide it, and I need to go for municipal approval. If I go get approval by the town, does that mean I can build? No. There's probably other jurisdictions governing here, right? Whose responsibility is that? It's yours. Who puts his seal on that plan is his. You've got to find the governing code. So when a client comes to me, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going online and I'm checking out for wetlands, I'm checking out for floodplains, I'm checking out for everything. I'm looking at my map. If I see a stream, water course, or something like that on it, I go, oh, property's gone. I'm looking for steep slopes. I'm looking for all kinds of things that can affect it. These are the engineering aspects of the project, and the only things we're going to concern ourselves with in this class. But, like all of these projects, this client comes to me, brings me this project, I've got to go to town and get it approved, I've got to go to DEP and get it approved, I've got to go to the county and get it approved. There's now legal aspects to it and political aspects to it. Both of which, as an engineer, I like to sit back and be like the guy in the roller coaster. Yeah, whoa, look at those guys. Don't get involved. There's a lot of things that happen you can't explain, especially when we talk political. And there's a lot of things you don't like when we talk, especially when we talk legal. They control your project. They intertwined with your project, you're going to be dealing with when you're the engineer. You're going to be sitting down with the mayor and your client's attorney. Weekly basis, daily basis, you're going to have different clients, different attorneys in your office all the time. You will work together, land development attorneys, planners, landscape architects, we all have to work together. That's that whole BIM thing we're supposed to realize in 260. With the engineering aspects, when I get up there, and let's talk a little bit about the approval process, because I'm going to create these plans. I'm going to go to the township, file an application for a site plan or subdivision approval, probably DEP, whatever I have to. I'm going to have to get up in front of their board with the public, defend this plan. I'm going to usually be part of a team. And it's a pretty expensive team for a big project too, because you're always going to have an attorney, and he's the ringmaster. And we're all just his little acts. He'll have his engineering act, his architectural act, his planner, especially if we have variances, we need a planner. If the landscape architect, they'll all be there all on that night to provide testimony as to their expertise. But after we get up and we give our little spiel, we have to address the audience and the public. And the public can come up and ask questions. And if they come up and ask me, well, how far is that structure you're proposing from my house, I can come up and give them a distance. If they ask me, how many school children is this going to generate? I'm going to pop, bing, where the football comes. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, why don't you bring that question up with our attorney or planner? Is that my expertise? No. Bye-bye, I don't want to talk about it, I'm out. Again, all these three things combined, you're going to work with them all, concentrate only on the engineering, and you will save yourself a lot of headaches, aggravation, and you'll win yourself a lot of work. When you create your report, and then take some notes on this, all regulatory code that I'm giving you, RSIS, the New Jersey Stormwater Rule, New Jersey Best Practice Management, and my made-up municipal code are governing your project. Don't go outside there. There's actually a lot more governing your project, but unless you want to create more maps and do more detail on your work, don't go there. Do not call the township we are working in for anything. I am the mayor. It's my town. You can Google it. You can look at their pretty pictures Mawa thinks they have there of my town. But please don't waste their time. You're probably not going to get someone very receptive to your phone call anyways. More likely, what do you want? And don't try calling them right before closing, because they're probably not there. Okay. Your reports. I want concise facts. I want you to state the governing code, tell me how you meet it, and move on. I do not want to hear how lovely the flowers look in the springtime and how lovely the foliage looks in the fall. I want to know that we have reduced the peak stormwater flow in the existing conditions by 80% as per RSIS 7-21, 5, whatever. That's what I want. That's how you document your project. Read the handout and you will know everything you need to include, everything you need to discuss. One of the first things you're going to do is going to go out onto Google Earth, Bing, Maps, whatever. You're going to look at aerial photography of this site. Your project, I believe, is in state plane coordinates, and I will confirm that. Which means that you'll be able to open up your DWG file and just go read coordinates from that and plug them right into Google Earth. I am going to have a world of computer advice for you. The first thing is I'm going to tell you is about the files you have. take all your project files, I put them in a zip file, expand it to your C drive. Just C. Don't go desktop. Don't go anything in a user thing. And this is where we get geeky, because this is what's going to help you take that data from your laptop to the lab, to her laptop, to his laptop, without losing any of your links. As long as you don't change the name of the folders after you start working with them. Expand it to C:CE494. Put all your stuff in there. You can move to any computer, that path will remain the same. You will not lose your X references and your data references. Okay, let's see if we were in state plane coordinates. From my experience in Land Desktop, I open up a file, I know it's in state plane coordinates. If I open it up and I see coordinates of like 500,000, 800,000. That's a coordinate. If I open it up, it's like yours and it reads 5,000, 6,000. That's a surveyor using an assumed 5,000, 5,000 as an origin somewhere, and everyone working off of that. It's a very common practice. This is, your project is at the intersection of Masonicus Ave and Airmont Road in Mahwah, New Jersey. It is lot 129 and 130, block 126. That will help you find it because your files are in a local coordinate system, not state plane. Go there. Look at the site. Don't visit the site. There's an angry young man there. Don't visit the site. No need to drive all the way up there anyway.
Can you repeat the block map?
What's that?
Can you repeat it again?
The block number is 126. Little hint, when you become an engineer, don't ever show up to a meeting without walking and actually being on your site, even if you do it 5 minutes before your meeting. In this class, you do not have to do that. And I'm going to tell you, you never want to be the engineer who's up there and giving testimony on this wonderful project. The mayor gets up and says, or chairman, have you visited the site? And you're up there, no. It's not going to look good for you and your qualifications as an expert on this project and this property. Okay. Let's see. Your question?
Yeah, can you just repeat the intersection again?
Yeah, Masonicus Ave.
How do you spell it?
As it sounds, MASONYCUS. Okay. And be careful in Mahwah, there's an Airmont and an Airmount road. I'm not really quite sure which one this is. But it still shouldn't be, you guys are all Google wizards, you should be able to find this still very quickly. All right, okay, let's talk about some expectations. We know this course is 200 points, 50 for your phase 1, 150 for phase 2. This is all about what I asked for. All those things I told you are in your syllabus, telling you what to put on the maps in the report, they're all worth points. The more things you get there, the more you get.